Hey, what's up, y'all? This video is titled First Year of the Mentor Journey, and in it, we will unpack the stages of a typical mentor journey in the first year. The reason we want to show you this is just so you have a general understanding and kind of a vision of the progression of the relationship, and you know what's ahead of you. So let's get into it. A few months back, I went on my first hike ever on a real life mountain. I experienced all different kinds of moments on the hike. There were moments that were fun, they were beautiful, they were hard, all of the above. And I didn't do this hike alone. I got to share it with a group of friends. Afterwards, I couldn't get out of my head, but thinking that this hiking up mountain experience was a lot similar to the experience, what it's like to be a mentor. I don't know if you've ever hiked a mountain, but anyone who has knows you don't hike a mountain in a straight line. It's also important that you don't ever hike it alone. The route you end up taking is all sorts of directions and which ways. There are times you're hiking uphill, downhill, sideways. There are even times where it feels like you're actually heading backwards towards the direction you originally started. The ground isn't stable, and there are all sorts of rocks and divots to be aware of. And the progression is slow. You don't try running up the mountainside, but it's a slow pace, one step at a time. This is a perfect illustration of what it's like to be a mentor and the journey a mentor takes. The mentor journey is not linear, and this is all part of the process. And just like hiking a mountain, everyone starts at the same place. There's no shortcuts. Everyone starts at the bottom of the mountain. And this is the same in mentoring. We all begin at the bottom, so to speak. This is the first stage of the mentor journey, and we all begin as program volunteers. This is when we serve as a volunteer at a program for the purpose of building relationships with youth. Generally, we've seen it takes roughly 6 months, give or take, of serving and building relationships at a program before there's enough relational capital and trust to take the relationships outside of the program. Now, these 6 months is a generalization, and there isn't really any formula. Because of the situation and circumstances, there might take times where it takes longer than 6 months, and there's times it might take less than 6 months. But God has different time frames for every relationship. The program volunteer is really all about starting and fostering relationships within the program. Now, once there's enough trust both with youth and parents, then you can take the relationship outside of the program into the next stage, and we call this stage the unofficial mentor. You become an unofficial mentor when you begin spending time outside the program with youth. We use this term because we don't want to claim to be mentors. We want to prove it. We see that it's important that the youth are the ones who define us as their mentors. We have this perspective for a number of reasons. First, youth do not need another person to come along in their life claiming that they're going to be their mentor, that they're going to be there for the youth, and then flake. Too many kids experience adults saying one thing and not following through. And we don't want to be another one of those and cause these youth more hurt. Second, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we claim to be someone's mentor if they themselves don't see us as their mentor. We think we can have a voice in their life and claim to be their mentor, all while they're sitting back and thinking, man, you got no voice in my life. You don't even know me. So we don't just want to talk about it, but we want to be about it. So we don't call ourselves mentors, we prove ourselves mentors. This also gives the youth the choice and the power to call us their mentor if they want and when they want. So this leads us into our next stage, which is when we become an official mentor. Nothing really changes in what actually is happening in this stage than the last. All it is that the mentee defines us as their mentor. And this is when you know your mentee is telling you that you have a voice in their life. You have proven to be their mentor, and now they decide to call you their mentor. And then we see it's important to reevaluate everything around the 1 year mark. We constantly want to be learning, evaluating what the Lord is doing and where He's leading, so it's important to take time and process that. You'll be doing this alongside your mentor coach. Lastly, it's important to know that you are not alone on your mentor journey, but you will have other mentors and a mentor coach to walk alongside you through all of these different stages. And ultimately, and most importantly, Jesus is with you. And who knows, maybe after year 1, the Lord will be showing you the next mountain peak He's calling you to hike. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We want to finish this video by reminding us that all relationships take time to build. There are no shortcuts. Relationships take time. Relationships take love. and relationships are messy. Relational growth is just one step at a time. We're partnering with God in His redemptive work, and it's important to know what our role is and what God's role is and not get those twisted. Our role is faithfulness, to be faithful in investing in our mentee, and God's role is to cause the growth. It's His role to cause the outcomes and the results. He causes growth in His timing and His ways, and this is so incredibly freeing. We just need to seek to be faithful and let God do the rest. Hope to see you on this mountain of the mentor journey, y'all. Grace and peace.